Now let's try to understand these two files in more details, HPA.yaml and RBAC.yaml. So the API version is quite clear. It defines the API version, typically autoscaling /v1 or autoscaling v2 beta 2 or whatever. And it specifies this configuration is of a horizontal pod autoscaler kind. Metadata contains the name and optional namespace for HPA. This is the name Nginx HPA. And scale target reference API version is again the API version of this resource, and it is of the kind deployment. Type of resource is deployment, and this is the name Nginx deployment. Min replicas, the minimum number of replicas the HPA will scale down to, and maximum replicas is the maximum number of replicas the HPA will horizontal pod autoscaler will scale up to. Target CPU utilization percentage is the target or average CPU utilization across the pods, which is 50. This is, I think, easy to understand. But for RBAC.yaml, let us understand the key things for the RBAC, role-based access control.yaml file. So here, what is a service account? The purpose of this service account is that it acts as an identity for applications running within the pods. And here, the key detail is that it was created in the default namespace and it is named my service account. And for role, the purpose of the role is that it defines what actions are allowed on resources within a namespace. And here it was created in a default namespace named pod reader and allows get, watch, and list. So allows reading, get, watch, and list. And for role binding, the purpose of the role binding is that it binds the pod reader. It binds the pod reader role to the my service account. Okay, and it grants my service account in the default namespace the permissions defined in the pod reader role. Now this setup ensures that any pod using the my service account will have read access to the pods in the default namespace.